Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. We got a lot to talk about in regards to AMC. This is the last day of the year, so congratulations. No matter if your portfolio is up or down, you made it, baby. You're heading into a new year, and there's going to be new positioning around AMC as well. That is something we're going to talk about here in this video, as well as the ever-increasing cost to borrow rates, as well as the short interest. Yeah, we're going to talk about it, guys, and get into the technical analysis and much more. So, hit that like button and subscribe to the channel if you have not already. It is free 99. If you guys also want to come trade with me live in real time, link down below in the description of that video. That is a freemium service, so do not join if you are not willing to participate. Now, let's get into it, guys. So, AMC down 4.60% at the time of recording this video, heading into the last hour of the trading day. You're above the 2022 low by about 20 cents, give or take. So I think that is a positive thing. You're not heading into the new year at the lowest point of the previous year, right? Of the lowest point of 2022. And it looks like we could start to base out quite a bit. And the first couple of weeks of 2022 are going to be interesting because people are going to be focusing on where earnings are going to go and where valuation should be. And the stocks that fell the most are unlikely to be the stocks that fall the most in the new year, right? If stocks fell a lot in 2022, it's probably not going to be those same stocks that drop another 50%. That would just be in stupid territory. And I think AMC at this point much closer to its fair fundamental valuation than where it has been in a very long time, and the data looks exceptionally well on AMC. Now, something I do want to point out is yesterday's rally that we seen, almost 8% in the stock. Now, how tax loss harvesting works, I'm going to assume you guys understand the basics of how it works, right? You're up on stocks, you're down on stocks, you sell stocks, you're down on to take a tax loss essentially against the stocks that you are up on. So it takes away that tax burden just a little bit, right? And the last 2 days of 2022, which was yesterday and today, you could no longer tax loss harvest because it takes 2 settlement days to settle trades, and you wouldn't have been able to settle any trades. So the first day that you could no longer tax loss harvest for 2022, well, what happened? The stock went up 8%. So if that's a precursor to what could happen in the beginning of 2023, well, that could be pretty exciting for AMC shareholders, especially as the data just looks so positive around the stock with the cost of borrow rates and the short interest being where it is. You're really primed to get some degree of rally here or some degree of a short squeeze. Now, as far as valuation is concerned, we can make a whole video on that, but I think it's just safe to say it's a much better value to buy AMC stock here rather than any other time in history. Even after the splits and the adjusted prices, you're almost at the lows that we've seen in 2021, which would be about $1.17. So it's not like you've really seen much of a gain in the grand scope of things from before the January rally, and I think that sets us up a lot of potential because AMC has done a lot of progression since where they were in January of 2021, flirting with actual bankruptcy. And I think it's pretty safe to say box office going to be a little bit better in 2023 than it was in 2022, or a lot better, I should say, in 2023 than 2022. So those are more on the fundamental side of things. Let's talk about the data here and what's going on with the option activity today. Not looking so pretty, but not a lot of option activity compared to what we're used to seeing. 27 orders totaling $2.78 million, positive order value of 0%. So not any bullish options going into AMC today, but it's not a huge volume day for options at the same time as kind of what we've seen as of recently. Now, the most exciting things definitely got to be the cost of borrow rates and the short interest. You're closing out 2022 at some of the highest levels of short interest that we have seen in years for AMC. Estimated live short interest, this is legal short interest, not to mention the shit that's illegal that's going on with AMC behind the scenes, sitting at over 21.5%. That's very good. You're sitting at 111.12 million shares that are currently sold short, which is a lot. With these cost of borrow rates that we're going to discuss, it puts a lot of pressure on those shorts with short positions. And heading into 2023, I think it's a really bad bet to say that AMC is going to have a worse year in 2023 than it did in 2022. I think that's a really bad bet to make, especially if you're shorting at these prices, right? If you're shorting at $3, that's probably not a good call. And I think it's pretty safe to say investors, institutional investors, would also understand that as well. So there's that information. Cost to borrow numbers. Cost to borrow average at 276.67%. Cost to borrow max at 305%. Cost to borrow minimum at 217.16%. Again, some of the largest or highest cost to borrow rates that we have seen throughout all of 2022 as well. Usually when you see cost to borrow rates spiking like this and staying very elevated, you tend to see a rally in the stock shortly after that, following the next week or two after that, right? If we take a look, Interactive Brokers short availability, this is only from Interactive Brokers. It's not from any other brokerage or any other site, right? You got 119% cost to borrow rates with about 30,000 shares available to be lent out throughout the entire day today. So that is showing people want to get their hands on AMC. There's a lot of risk when you're shorting AMC at these levels. 118% on an annualized basis is ridiculous. That means if you're shorting stocks right now, then you're expecting a massive drop in 2023, in which I think that's just a bad bet to be making. So there is all of that information. As far as the Stocko Tracker data, let's take a look at the first option expiration in 2023. That is going to be January 6th. You got about 4,000 calls in the money, 48,000 calls that are out of the money, 18,000 puts that are in the money, and about 17,000 puts that are out of the money. So considering you only got about 4,000 calls that are in the money heading into the first option expiration in 2023 compared to over 40,000 calls that are out of the money, if you do see that move to the upside, there's a lot of fuel on the fire. Now let's take a look at AMC on a technical basis, and I think it's safe to say, just logically speaking, if you have made money on a short position on AMC in 2022, it makes a lot of sense to cover on that short position in the beginning of 2023, because it's going to be very hard to continue to squeeze out profits on a short position, especially when you're finding a lot of bid support around AMC's fundamental valuation of $3.80 per share. You're seeing a lot of back and forth fighting around this level ever since you did hit the low at intraday on December 28th. Now, we did get a bullish indicator, which is the RSI as of yesterday, because why? Look at the RSI down here. You were extremely oversold, around $25. Not $25, but around 25 on the RSI, and you shot straight up to positive after yesterday's almost 8% rally. So that is a very strong bullish indication of reversing sentiment. Now you're seeing this down day in the markets. Yeah, we're pretty much on that 30 level, that really severely oversold level. And whenever you have bought AMC, when the stock has touched this 30 level on the RSI, you have virtually always made money on AMC. So I don't think that would change anytime soon. Now, a lot of people are calling for this first half crash in 2023. If that does happen, well, AMC could be in for a little bit more downside, but I do think stocks that have fallen so much, like AMC, pretty close to their fundamental valuation. I doubt they would go down nearly as much as some of the other stocks that held up so well. After all, you can't really get a bottom in the markets until everything flushes out. Does what Tesla did and drop 70% in the year. You need to see that with your Apples, with your Microsofts, your Googles, your Amazons, your Nvidias, your Teslas, right? We've already seen that with Tesla. Once that happens, that's where you get to a bottom, and that's where the markets can head into a sustained kind of rally period after earnings consensus estimates do come down. So long story short, with AMC stock, looking pretty good, relatively speaking, heading into 2023. You're off of the lows, and the data here looks very much primed for a short squeeze, guys. So that is going to be it for this video. Hit that like button and subscribe to the channel. Source your comments, questions, or concerns down below in the comment section. Last day of 2022, baby. Make it count. Hope you guys are ready for 2023. Most importantly, though, enjoy the rest of your day, and I will see you in the next one.